All right, great. So I just want to introduce our keynote. Very, very excited to have Jayson East Street. So welcome him to the stage, and he'll be doing our keynote for this year. And thank you, everyone. Appreciate all your effort and time coming here. Really appreciate it.
Hello, yep. I was like, I'll clap now, but trust me, it's like, this is my, not my typical legal disclaimer that I usually have when I give talks. It's like, I still do remember the kittens. This one's a little bit different. I hate this talk. This is not a talk I like giving. It's a talk I shouldn't be giving. It's a talk that, to be honest with you, when you hear it, it's like on certain topics, you're gonna go, you're not qualified to be speaking on this matter. Then you know what? You're absolutely right. I shouldn't be the one speaking on it. The people that are qualified to speak on it, no one's gonna listen to, usually. So it's gonna take me to say it. And it's like, and I'm not gonna say it well. So that's what that disclaimer is. It's like, I will have no problem with you disagreeing with how I say something or deliver the message. I'm fine with that. If you have a problem with the things that I'm saying and the truths that I'm laying out and the facts that I'm giving, F you. That's on you. You want to talk about that later, it's like, meet me outside, how about that? So it's like, because I'm saying it with my full chest, and you need to understand that. So, just to set your expectations up low, I'm going to be Debbie Downer the whole time. But the best part about that is we can only go up from there. So I'm sure it's like, I'm glad we got this out of the way. Also, just one other thing, too, to understand something. And I just heard this morning, and it actually changed my talk. Paraphrasing Carl Jung, but when it says, when you judge others, you judge yourself. And I'm not trying to judge anyone. I'm not trying to talk at you and say that you're the problem or saying that this applies to you. I'm going to talk to you about how things are and how they shouldn't be and give you examples. But I'm not judging anyone. This is not out of a place of contempt or contempt of like, and trust me, my glass house has no glass intact. Because when I launch those motherfucking rocks at you, I'm doing it through my glass, okay? I'm doing it through my wall first because I acknowledge the fact that I'm not perfect. I am guilty of everything that I talk about as I've grown up. So it's not from a place of higher. It's like, don't be me. Always. That's what I've always said. Be better. So now I got that out of the way. Let's get worse. This is the name of the talk. The real name of the talk is How Mr. Rogers is a Hacker. And you're thinking like, what? Trust me. Give me a time. And this is in Pittsburgh. It's like I was in Pittsburgh and I saw this statue of Mr. Rogers and I was like, wow, that is awesome. That is an epic statue. If you're going to have any kind of statue and memorial of Mr. Rogers, why not have it as a T-Rex? So I think that's awesome. And I'm going to explain to you basically through then you'll realize why I say that he's a hacker and one of the best hackers we've ever had. Who am I? Doesn't really matter because it's not about me. It's like this is about everything that's been going on. So screw that noise. And this is a question I often ask myself. I'm a poser. It's like I'm like someone who doesn't have like any high school dropout. Used to live behind a dumpster. It's like literally. It's like I am not an expert at anything. Except for acting and faking my way through life so people think that I'm an actual adult when I'm like 5 raccoons in an adult suit, okay? And it's not a very good disguise because it's pretty obvious. And I get some of these questions, and I love some of the way these, I don't like standing behind the podium. It's like, I love some of these questions where it says, from James here, your work experience is pathetic and you're one hell of a con man.
Facts.
I social engineered that's part of the job description. Thank you. It's like, here's another one. Bruh, you're a fake fraud and BSer. Your LinkedIn shows nothing but fake companies created out of thin air, and I know what it looks like to see someone barely able to keep up with today's world. Retire now, you effing dinosaur. Okay. F you. Dinosaurs are awesome. We just established that already. Okay. Second of all, I can't help it that legitimate companies called like Pony Express and TrueSec, TrueSec, Swedish company, they were silly enough to allow me to use my own titles, create my own titles. So that's the reason why I'm the InfoSec Ranger from Pony Express and the Chief Chaos Officer of TrueSec. And I'm now currently the Chief Adversarial Officer at another company. It's like, and also this other one I like is, I feel like Jayson Street is a fraud who's about to be exposed for being too noob to do AppSec. Just a hunch. Just a hunch? Dude, I spent my whole career telling you I was a fraud, and I don't know what I'm doing. I've literally, one of my catchphrases, this stuff's so easy, even I can do it. Pay attention, people. I don't mind you hating me, trust me. It's like, there's a lot of people that are good at it. Do better. Oh wait, I gotta run over and do the slides now. Okay, here we go. Professional, see? So let's look at some of this professional stuff that I can do. We got this talk right here is when I'm talking about how to attack people, it's like you gotta see, I gotta show you my skill sets. I attack via kindness. Am I creating some kind of advanced 0 day to take someone out? Nope. I take an OMG cable, go to the repository, hack together a little script that's already pre-done and just edit it to the way I want it in a text file, load it up, and I connect the cable to my hearing aids. It's like I was in a car accident several years ago and I required hearing aids because just a word of advice, never listen to rap music at full volume with the windows up and then have your airbag deploy. They deploy at 170 decibels, FYI. It's not a great experience. I don't recommend it. So I now have hearing aids. But let's see what you can do with them. Audio? Is there audio? Hello? Audio? People? Okay.
They're coming.
It gets, and trust me, and you're thinking that it's bad now, we haven't really started yet. Oops. Yep, there's no audio going on right now. I'm just making sure everything's right on my end. There we go. Okay. How are we doing today? Okay. It's just me talking a lot. We're going to see if we can get it by the time we get to the next one. This is from a YouTube where I'm basically explaining to this guy in the blue suit, a total serious lawyer, trust me, about how I use kindness to rob people. Because I go up to someone and I'm like, I'm in the suit. It's like, hello. I'm trying to go to a meeting and my hearing aids, they're not charging. I got a hearing set for my hearing aids. I charge my hearing aids and your computer. Please, and I can't use the power from the cord. I need low power from the computer. Can I charge on your computer? What monster is not going to let me charge my hearing aids? And you're thinking, Jayson, that's horrible. I'm trying to rob you. We've established my moral fiber. You're being robbed. Would you prefer a gun? I've robbed a building in a wheelchair before. I'm robbing you. I am a horrible person, theoretically. My second one, and hopefully we're still getting someone to work with the audio because the next demo is going to be even more exciting. I can say that because I don't know if the audio is going to work, so I can just tell you it was exciting and you have to believe me. The first slide told you I was a liar, but trust me, it was wholly awesome. But the next one is I attacked by curiosity. No major hacking skills. I actually needed a custom payload. Lord knows I wasn't going to do it. I tried to code. I tried to learn to code with my 12-year-old. I went and did this with my 12-year-old. We learned that book from No Starch Press, learning Python with Minecraft. Yeah, that's a great book. That's where I learned I suck at Python and Minecraft. So wow, thanks for that. It's like, so I had to go to my friend Teton. He calls it Titan, but he's French, so I always go Teton because it sounds, classier. And my friend Teton, he built the code for me. We went on this one assignment where we literally robbed all these different banks in 3 different countries within a week. And this guy would start out in the morning going after their networks from the computer. By lunch, he was domain admin every single place that we went. He's amazing. He's the scariest, nicest hacker that you don't know because he does this thing, what's it called? Work. Instead of being on social and worrying about, his cred, worrying about which talks he's giving. He does the work. Like 95% of the other people that are in this room that are doing the job that keeps us protected every day. It's like, so I got him to write the code for me, and we put it on my drone. I'm not a major great drone flyer. I know that comes as a surprise to a lot of people. I usually just like to fly my drone up, and I have it go do a circle, and I bring it back down. You can see a lot of mine on YouTube. It's like videos. It's like, because a lot of the drones are really great shots at really cool places that was totally illegal to fly, but my drone's also hacked to disregard no-fly zones. And so I got some great footage that, I'm not going back to certain countries, so it doesn't matter. But yes, some great footage. But you know what I use the drone for in this engagement? I crash it. Not hard because it's like I love this drone, okay? It's like I don't want to break it. It's like I don't mind gambling with my life, but not my equipment. That costs something. That's worth something. So no, I take it to the about mid-level and I fly it into the door, lobby door, 7:30 at night, or by the guard booth. And then what happens? Security comes around, they see the drone, and they're like, oh, someone was filming. Someone was doing something. What was on this thing? It's like they're recording what kind of video that we got to go in and investigate. So they take it's 2 ways that they've done it, but the main one that I love the best is there's a USB-C port on the drone. So they plugged it into their security computer, with all the cameras and access back systems, and they plugged it in to watch the video. There was only 2 files on the hard drive of this drone. One said pilot information and drone serial number .dcox is from Microsoft, so it's got to be safe. And then DJI MOV 1 .mov, which had to be legit as well. There we go. And then you double click on any one of those files, and you get rickrolled. Because Rick Astley has done more for security awareness in this industry than any other program ever made, okay? And then as soon as you close the video, it comes with a little command prompt that says, you've been pwned. I know, you didn't pop out, Jayson. I'm not that cool, okay? I just decided to do the stereotype because I'm a poser. So I just did, you've been pwned. Now the next one is I attack via routine. And how do I do that? I use different sound effects. I use YouTube. I use the PBX app. And then I do some Googling. Because then I make phone calls. And the app lets me change the phone number to be any number I want it to be. Never the White House or, the FBI, because that would be against the law and hilarious. But I would never do that. But I can be anything, I can call from anybody I want to be. So let's hear one of these. Right here.
Back to the cat.
Can we turn that up?
Temp password. User, you don't have access to your email, right?
Not right now, not until I get everything back up. I mean, the doctor said that the chemo was going to mess with my memory, but I just didn't know it was going to be this bad.
I got you. I apologize about that. I'm sure we can get this figured out for you.
I do appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Anything else I can do for you?
That'll be it. That's all I need about it.
I love the fact that he actually was like apologizing. Dude, you didn't give me cancer. It's fine. It's like, I'm not blaming you. It's like, I've had cancer before, so I'm not appropriating, okay? It's like, so don't get too judgy. Remember the kittens. Here's the next one. I love this one. This one was great because I needed to rob, whenever I do an engagement, I always like to give them a win. I always make sure that the clients at least get one win. We talk about that. Because it's like you can't just show them all the ways they did wrong. You should show them how someone did something the right way. And so we try to make it work. So the client was like, hey, well, if you're going to want to get something that you'll probably not succeed at, why don't you try to take over this woman's account? Okay, I'll try. It's like, so I decided to go after it. I did some Google researching, realized that she works for her husband. He was around 40 years old, which is younger than me, and I decided, hey, I'm going to turn him into an 80-year-old, and she's in the hospital because we were at my son-in-law's house in the winter up north, y'all understand that, and she slid on the stairs. They were iced over because my son-in-law didn't de-ice the stairs like a moron that he is. And so I had to talk to the thing, and you should hear the hospital sounds in the background as I talk to him about my problem.
I'm giving her an account or two to make her feel, like she's working and pulling her own and stuff. I know it's that nepotism stuff, but it's like, it's not a bad thing.
I'm working with security on this to see what we can do at least for your wife's account. That being said, I still want you to try and log into VMware and see if you can find that file anywhere in the shared drive. In the S drive, you would have access.
All right, where is the VMware?
Do you see a green and white cloud icon on there? The cloud's blue. It's a OneDrive. Not that. We want VMware Horizon. Is there a search bar that you can see anywhere there you can type in VMware Horizon?
The search bar. Where is that? Is that on on the browser, like Google? You want me to Google it?
No, so on the very bottom of the screen, there should be like a box that has like a magnifying glass on it. Do you have to see that?
Yeah, the magnifying glass, I see that.
Yep, click on that, and I want you to type in VMware in that.
VMware. Okay,
Open that up.
it's not it's showing me a website. I could have done that in the Google.
Okay, so we don't want the Google, we want the actual VMware. It should be a green and white cloud icon. If you don't see that,
Nah,
He was on the call with me, like that, 40 minutes. Yeah. MVP territory there. I've done help desk calls. I would have closed that guy quick. 40 minutes. He was empathetic. He was professional. He was polite. He was kind. And he did not deviate from security policy. He was amazing. And if you're a red teamer and you're not celebrating when your client does well, you suck. Because the only reason why you exist is to make the blue team better. Your job is not to break things and find vulnerabilities. Your job is to validate the security and give them suggestions on how to improve that security. That's the job. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Now, what's my tools of the trade? What was my big skills? I talked a lot. I got a credit card. And I know where Amazon and hack5.org are. And I know how to do the sales. Zero skills, people. It's almost like I'm a fraud. Or I'm a noob. And I'm not good at AppSec. Imagine that. Quite a few people do, it seems. Does it matter? Did I still get in? I don't care how good your 0 days are. If I can walk in the front door without knowing anybody and get access to a computer within 15 seconds to compromise it, and then get the manager to walk me to every single machine and compromise 100% of every machine on the premise, I don't really need your 0 days. I don't really need your leakness. And that was actually on video, so I'm not exaggerating. That's how that is. But it's not special. That didn't make me a hacker. The tools, the Python, Lord knows it's not the Python. It's like that stuff doesn't make me or you a hacker. It's something we're born with. This is a rant that I did a while back. Watch that one. It's like you want to know more about the hackers. I don't have time. But you know what else? An audience doesn't make me an expert. Having views and likes don't make me smarter. Having a great YouTube presence doesn't make me an authority that you need to listen to. There are thousands of people in this industry that, with my whole chest, I will tell you, are way better than I am. And I'm okay with that. But they don't have the views like I do, or they don't get invited or the opportunities. Why does that make them, different? Someone you shouldn't listen to. Why does that make me special? Exactly, it doesn't. Those are just a good recommendation of quite a few people that you should be following and listening to that do really great jobs. There's a lot of people out there. Just because you see them on a stage, or you see them on a YouTube page or on social media, doesn't mean they're the know-all and end-all of what a subject matter expert is supposed to be. Go and find people here to listen to and to talk to. That can only give you a signal user ID to connect with, or a group to connect with on Discord. And you can share ideas and learn from them, because those are other good avenues to learn. That's why you're here at conferences like this, to do that kind of networking. And please understand that even here, you have been blessed and privileged to have the opportunity to be here on a weekday for the day to learn and to network. Opportunity is some of the main reasons why we are where we are. Not from the skills or what we've learned or what we've done, just the opportunity, just a random luck. There are people on this planet right now who are smart enough and have the ability, if they were given the opportunity, to cure cancer, to come up with the newest quantum encryption. But they're never going to do it because they stroop ships on the coast of Africa or their farmhands in Mumbai. They're never going to have that opportunity because that's also key. Doesn't matter about the skills. If you don't have the opportunity, you don't take it. So don't take this for granted. Don't take where you're at and the abilities that you have for granted. Other people would love to have the problems you're dealing with now. I am dealing with problems now in my life that 20 years ago, I was praying for the situation that led to them. That was a deep one, Jayson. Thank you. Now we're going to do my next demo. You thought those other 3 demos were good? I'm about to show you a live social engineering Trojan horse attack. Because now we're going to get to the root of the talk. Because it has nothing to do with the freaking offensive and breaking stuff. But I need to have offensive breaking stuff in it to get to hacker conferences so I could talk. So I made it look like it was going to be a hacker talk, and then now I'm just going to rant at you and scream at you for the rest of this talk. So, yay. And trust me, if you want to walk out, I've had that every single time. I don't mind. It's cool. But let's get it with it. Being a hacker also means having the courage to speak out when you see something broken, plus the hacker's mindset to go about fixing it and making it better for everyone. Do we know who these 2 people are? Lord, I hope you do. Because if you don't, you've got research to do. The one on the left, Dan Kaminsky. He saved the internet. He found a DNS because it's always DNS. And he found a DNS vulnerability that would have taken down the internet. And before he gave the talk at Black Hat and got on stage and gave out cookies, because that was Dan's things with his mom's cookies. They were great. And if you didn't have one, you missed out. And he got together with all the major tech companies, ICANN, the root servers, and he fixed the problem before the vulnerability was announced, before he went and got claim to fame. That's the kind of, he was literally created an app to help people that are colorblind. He was an amazing human being. And he passed. And we lost such a valued member of our community. Because it wasn't just about him finding the vulnerabilities. It was him taking the time to help people, to reach out to people from all walks of life, from all different social media statuses. It didn't matter what your follower count was. You met him, you talked to him, you had a friend. And everybody loved him. He's in the Internet Hall of Fame. He was great. He did a great service speaking out about a vulnerability that helped keep the internet going, keeping the business going, keeping the memes going, keeping the kitten pictures going. All great. What about Aaron Schwartz? He saw something wrong. A system, an organization that was using education and knowledge that should have been free to just capitalize on people who couldn't afford it because they were in school and they were struggling and they didn't matter. And he tried to fix that problem. So the government hounded him to death. He's not as known or as cool, I guess. I never got to meet him in person. We've lost heroes. Both of those people, no matter how much they're celebrated or how much they're known, didn't do it for that. They did it because it was right. And that's what we have to do as well. It's like part of our job in cybersecurity is telling people in power things they don't want to hear. That was one of the things I told the CIO of the bank I worked at. Part of my job is to tell you things, because he said, Jayson, you say no a lot. And I'm like, yeah. If I start just agreeing with everything you come up with, fire me, I mean you harm. And so the rest of this talk, it's like I've always heard there are certain things you're not supposed to talk about in public. Race, religion, politics. Don't worry. Okay, I don't want to alarm anybody. I'm going to talk about all three of those, but I'm going to throw some misogyny in so it's an equal 4. Okay? So we're going to cover all of them. Don't worry. I'll get to that part if you're thinking, I can't believe he said that. Trust me. Hold on, Buttercup. Let's start with race. A lot of people get all uncomfortable talking about that. Remember the part where I said I'm not qualified to speak about these things? Yeah, basically. But this YouTube video was amazing. It was a youth coach who lined everybody up. And he said, we're racing for $100. But before we start, I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you come from a 2-parent home? People that raised their hands, take 2 steps forward. Did you ever have to worry about where your meal was coming from? Or going hungry for a day? Didn't? Take 2 steps forward. Did you ever have to help with the income in your family and making money to help support your family? If you never had to do that, take 2 steps forward. Guess what? That line was not even anymore. Some people had a really big head start, but everybody had to run the same race. And some people that were far behind still managed to get up there, but they weren't the ones that won. So I'm not saying you're a bad person because you've had certain advantages that you didn't control. My youngest came up to me one time in school, it was in 2021, because they were wearing a BLM mask, and it was showing sign language, because they do sign language and translate, and it was a sign language with different shades of the hands. And this girl came up to them and said, well, I've experienced racism. What about me? What about white lives? And my youngest asked me that because they're a critical thinker. And they're like, I don't know, I didn't have an answer for that. What is the answer? And I had to explain it to them very simply. When I was in Beijing once at 10 o'clock at night, I could not get a cab. I waited over 30 minutes trying to get a taxi driver to stop for me to get a cab. One time I was walking on the streets of Cairo and I saw up in the overpass 2 guys looking at me and pointing at me and saying some stuff like, yeah, I'm very good at reading body language and facial expression, and I really didn't have to be to get the message. And I started running, and getting out of the way. It's like, I was like, I don't even want this drama, It's like, I'm not going to catch that smoke. So I left. That was individual racism. I experienced individual racism during that. What they're talking about is the systemic racism that is ingrained in our society. Because that's what the problem is. White lives matter. When did I become a crayon in a coloring book? I'm from Welsh heritage. There's nothing wrong with celebrating your heritage. I'm from Welsh. I know people that are Irish, except for on St. Patrick's Day, everybody's Irish. But it's like I know a lot of people that know their heritage. Most European Americans in this country know their heritage. They know where their ancestors came from. But our society has stolen that from a group of people where they don't know what part of the continent they came from. They didn't know what village they came from. We stole that heritage, so all they had was a color. You don't get to say white lives matter, because it's not a color. You have a heritage. When you only give someone a color, you got to let them be proud of it. You're the one that gave them the label. Because it's all about perception. I'm not saying I'm going to trip. That's going to be hilarious for a lot of people. But it's all about perception. None of this makes you a bad person. It's just us perceiving the problems. And we need to just take a step to look at how someone else perceives something. And that brings us to another thing that we have a problem sometimes perceiving. Oh, I hate this phrase. We got to get women in tech. We need women in tech. We got to have women in tech. That is the stupidest phrase I've ever heard in our industry, and I've dealt with the blockchain and zero trust with AI, okay? You don't want women in tech. Be for real, be accurate, be truthful. The proper phrase is, you want women back in tech. They must have started this industry in the 60s. They started it. Because no one wanted the job. So you gave it to people of color. You gave it to women of color. That's why we have people on the moon now. But then in the 70s, well, some guys found out, people can make some money with this. Okay, we can handle it now, Lois. You're okay. We'll take it over now. So now you're trying to get them back. Be for real. This is my friend Lindsay. We went to a conference. She was having a conversation with this guy. As soon as I got up to the table, he literally, mid-sentence, stopped talking to her because she no longer existed and turned to me and started having a conversation with me. Because she was just with me. She was just a girl that I was with. It's like she wasn't important. She has as much experience in cybersecurity that I do. Except for she has executive function, so she's actually an executive. She's worked at national and international banks in Hong Kong, South Africa, and the Netherlands. But to most guys at the conference, she was with the speaker. You don't assume that the girl I'm with, or the guy I'm with, or whoever I'm with, is there because they're with me. They're there because they're a motherfucking hacker, and they deserve the same amount of respect. And I keep hearing, oh, well, I had to stand up and do something because, I have daughters, or I have a sister, I don't care. How does that matter? You don't try to stand up for someone because you have someone that you can identify with, like they're another category, and you're familiar with that category. You do it because they're a human being, and it's the right thing to do. That's how you become an ally. One of the main things that you do as an ally is shut the up. I'm the worst example of an ally. That I'm up here yapping at everybody with stuff that I'm not qualified to be talking about. Do better than me. Also amplify the voices. You don't retweet. You don't quote retweet it and then make sure your message is heard above theirs. You just retweet their message. You just give them a chance to speak. You just let them talk. Let them use your voice and your amplification. That's how you do that. Mr. Rogers did it all the time. So I'm going to do another demo. I love this one. This is my live social engineering privilege escalation attack via remote access. Okay, it's really awesome because I've donated at least 10 minutes of my time to someone that doesn't usually get to have a voice, that doesn't have the same kind of voice or reach that I have. So I've asked them to give a video, and I've done this at all the different conferences, different people, and I've had them talk. So now we're going to have this demonstration.
I'll start by saying thank you, Jayson. Thank you for thinking of us. Thank you for putting so many beautiful human qualities out there, showing the world that you can be super cool, but at the same time, super kind. And I think one beautiful way for any individual with any type of skill, especially technology, but any type of skill, cooking, origami, anything, to go to your own local library and offer your services there. Go to the person who's in charge of taking, creating programs. There's always someone in there, and tell them, hey, I'm a cybersecurity engineer, and I would love to start a little security program here, maybe just meeting once every 2 weeks or once a month for 2 hours or an hour, and I would love to share with people, and you choose the topic, something that you think people might like, suggestions are for beginners, how to use ChatGPT for the elderly, how to use Excel, for those that work with Excel, basics of cybersecurity, or how to stay safe out there, or how to keep our children more secure, how to surf the web in a secure way. Ask ChatGPT for ideas and go and email your local library. And if they don't reply, email again. If they don't reply back, go there and say, I'm very interested. I work in the industry. If you have some of the skills that you would like the community, I guess that's how I built my organization. I built my organization by the way, let me talk a little bit more about that. My organization is called GIA Community. It's composed of two different brands, one GIA Cyber and Grace in Action. Grace in Action is it doesn't have a religious background. It's just I really like the word grace. It means unmerited help, and I really wanted to embody that. I personally come from a background of war, a lot of violence, a lot of drug trafficking, human trafficking, and just always being afraid of my surroundings, right? I come from one of the longest civil wars in history in Colombia. But that also shaped me to understand that across the globe, we all have the same basic needs. No matter the color of our skin, the type of accent that we have when we speak in the same language. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you look at the back, I don't know if it's legible. It says, this world was made for you and me. Like, when I became a social worker over 10 years ago, and now that I'm in cybersecurity, but let's go back 10 years ago. Again, it just became that idea that we're all the same. We all have the same exact basic needs. And to me, when I embarked on a journey of healing, for my own healing, for the experiences that I had growing up in such a violent environment, and also situations that happened in my life when I came to the United States, I was caught in this, I guess, in this cycle of just a difficult situation after the other one for a very, very long time. And I gotta say, I think it was technology, what really, high-paying skills, what really set the tone for a different dynamic moving forward in my life. But before technology was this idea of service, this idea of, it doesn't matter how I feel, it doesn't matter how little I know, there's always something that I can support others with. So I started realizing that local libraries are a very great way to start anything. One, because they do their own marketing for you. So you don't have to go and find people to come to your event or to come to your talk or to come to your workshop. The library does that for you. They're this centralized system that they have connections with some of the, some other local organizations. So I said, wow, I can really amplify my voice, amplify my impact just by supporting libraries. He's supporting us with the Raspberry Pi Foundation. I mean, I'm just so grateful to have people that are saying to so many of us in so many ways, how can I help? I really hope this video is of service to you all. And thank you, Jayson, again. Bye-bye.
When I gave instructions for people to submit the video, it was specifically to talk and showcase the work that they're doing, what they wanted to talk about, what research they were doing. She spent most of her time talking about how you can help. The importance of all of us helping. That's how she used her time. Was to talk about the community, to reach out to other people in your community. That's what was more important to her than, oh, I've done this shiny thing or I'm researching on this project. That's what it's about. And that's why it's important. You're thinking, that was nice. Don't worry, we're getting to the politics now. Mr. Rogers was a Republican? Why you say it like that? Because it doesn't matter. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Lord, I'm sick of every one of them. Okay? It's like, but listen, look at these quotes from Reagan. I can say in the same breath that Barack Obama was a great president, and also he was a coward who did not endorse the Belgium Accords from '94 during the Crimea attack when it first happened, and he was a jerk for doing that. Because it shouldn't be about my team. It should be about what's right and what's wrong. I am totally not invested in my political leaders. Their job is just to do their job, and me complain about it because I have to pay taxes. That's it. We got to get past that and see that at the end of the day, no matter what political party you are on, you're on that stance because you want what's best for this country. So I'm okay with that at the end of the day. We may disagree with how we want that, but we we still have to acknowledge that we both want the same thing, which is what's best for this country. We just disagree on what that is or how to get to it. We need to get back to that place, to where we were a beacon on the hill. We need to start realizing that the person that is sitting next to you is not in Congress or in the White House. They're your neighbor. They're the people that you should be really caring about. The people that you should really be rooting for to succeed. Those are the people that matter. We need to get back to that. Also, by the way, Reagan was one of the first ones that was all about granting amnesty to illegal aliens. You know, I said it right? That's the way you're supposed to say it? Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. And what about compassion? Why are we using religion as a way to show not compassion, to show and justify our hate? By the way, I did it from 4 different books. It's like I did it from the Old Testament for our Jewish friends. I did it from the New Testament for our Christian friends. I did it from the Quran for our Islamic friends. And I did it from in Hindi script for our Buddhist and Hindu friends. Because believe it or not, this country was not founded on one religion. It's about all of them. It's about that independence and that freedom to have whichever or none. But it all, at the end of the day, ultimately, if you look hard enough at every one of them, the message is simple. I created you. You were created by me. Love and take care of the world and the gifts and the people I've given you, and love them like I love you. Why did we forget the assignment? And then, I'm almost done. He's about to drag me off. Almost done, but I'm not stopping. When we talk about compassion and religion, where was it here? When you make people into labels, it makes them easier to hate, which makes it easier to blame them for your failings and misfortune. That leads to believing their lives don't count or matter. And I just will reiterate with Exodus 22:21, do not mistreat or oppress a foreigner, for you were foreigners in Egypt. And Matthew 10:14, when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt. That was Joseph. So I want to close with this simple, no, I'm not closing, but I'm almost done. But I want to close this section with one simple fact. I'm a Christian. So that means that my personal Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that I pray to every day, was a brown-skinned Middle Eastern immigrant and political refugee who was persecuted unjustly by a government until he was murdered for his beliefs. That's who I pray to. And I always remember that too as well. And you see, the internet and social media and our discourse just in general at the grocery store or wherever, has it gotten any better? I look at all these comments, and first of all, they are funny. Come on, let's be honest. I mean, seriously, I love a couple of these. It's like, guy looks 40 but dresses like he's 13 in 2009. And I'm like, why, thank you. My Lord, I wished I was that young. That was very generous of you, sir. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a sir. This dude is annoying as heck. Oh, yeah, trust me. Feminism ruins everything, including hackers. Okay? I can take this guy seriously with all the rings and bracelets and necklaces. But it's called accessorizing. Learn it. And he says, like, and another one says, like, he's got rings on every finger and all this other. My trigger finger does not have a ring on it. Please take note, okay? Just saying. And this one is like, I'm available for hire if anybody wants to take this arrogant, out of the loop. And I'm like, come on, please. I survived my first murder attempt when I was 10. 2 others before I was 25. I just expect a better class of villain, okay? Come on. I have plenty of enemies, just do better. I mean, me being this old should be a warning to people at this point. But you know what I feel ultimately about those people? I don't see critics. I don't see enemies. I see hurt people. Because hurt people hurt people. When I was in my 20s, I had a choice. I could be the monster I was raised and trained to be. Because I was a horrible person back then. I could have been that monster, but I chose to be the person that takes out the monsters. The ones that protect others from the monsters. We can all make that choice. A lot of those people made the wrong choice. You don't have to be the monster. You don't have to be the one that hurts just because you're hurt. We have to remember that as well. Mr. Rogers hated children's television. He did. He's on record for saying it. He hated children's television. And why is he a hacker? Because he fixed it. He saw a problem and said, this doesn't work. I'm going to create a children's television show and do it the right way, like a hacker should. As a hacker, and every one of you are, because we were born hackers, every one of you have the power to be whatever you want to be in this world. Why not choose to be kind first?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm done. Seriously, I'm done. Thanks.